What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We are in the world of a game called Neverwinter Nights. This is a new MMO out by the guys over at Cryptic. They're the ones who made, I believe, City of Heroes and Star Trek Online. And I was not a real big fan of Star Trek Online. Somebody who is a terribly horrible Trekkie. I love Star Trek, and what they did to that game just made me weep giant Trekkie tears, unfortunately. But, so because of that, you know, and I was never really all that big of a fan of City of Heroes, I was kind of worried that this game was going to be very similar in comparison, you know, just kind of mediocre at best. However, everything I've seen so far kind of leads me to believe this is going to be a pretty solid game. Now, I've chosen to go through the tutorial with you guys because I already played it once and I had to remake my character, and I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys again. It makes it a little bit easier for me to do commentary. So right here, this is a fire. These little campfires are used to restore your character's mana and, I believe, other assets.
It's good to see
the quest system, as you can see right here, is very simple. It's very easy to use. It's almost idiot-proof. Every time you get one, you get this nice little sparkly trail that leads you to the next area. And the storyline, just like any other Dungeons and Dragons type game, is kind of one of the key points. It seems pretty solid. Now, the world itself, this is on maxed out graphics, is very pretty. I don't know if I would say amazing, but it is very solid. You look at the trees, they look realistic. The ambiance is very good. When you get up and look closely at some of these monsters, they look disturbing, and it's very interesting. The spell effects are very pretty. The controls are very easy, and it just kind of feels natural. They've gone with a scheme of controls that kind of reminds me of some of the MOBA games that have been out, like League of Legends. You notice you have QER down there, which is basically all the keys around your WSAD keys. You've also got 1 and 2, which are special abilities, and then you've got left mouse and right mouse, which are the abilities that I'm basically using right now. I do believe the level cap on this, which is a little interesting, I believe is 60. And I am not a big Dungeons and Dragons guy, but from DDO Online, if I do recall, the level cap there was 20, if I remember right, or maybe 25. So it's kind of interesting that the level cap in this game is so high. I kind of expected it to be significantly lower. I had a very brief time with Dungeons & Dragons Online. It wasn't something I spent a whole lot of time with. But once Turbine made it free to play, I did run a couple rounds, and I kind of liked the setup. And this feels very similar, sort of in style, graphically, to a lot of the what do you call it, oh, what's the name of the developer that does that? I almost said Tryon, but it's not Tryon. Turbine, there we go. To the Turbine games. The graphics, just, this feels like Lord of the Rings Online to me. If you've played Lord of the Rings, it just screams Lord of the Rings. Just the graphic style, the way the text sets up, etc., etc. Now every time you level, you get this little icon down here. You can press U, and it pulls up all of the new abilities that you get here. When you click on this, it shows you all of the general powers that you've got. These are basically your racial abilities, your starter skills, etc., etc. And then you've got your individual skills here. Now we just picked up Astral Seal. Basically, whenever you cast this on a target, which is on the right mouse button, you can see that down here, left mouse, right mouse. When you cast this on a target, it gives them a buff, you can see right there, and then every time you hit them, it heals you. You can see that little 7 lightning bolt down there. So that, you know, if you're fighting a monster that you know you're going to be fighting for a while, you know, maybe some big boss or something, you slap this on, and every single one of your allies that hits that is now going to get healed. Now, I like playing healers. That's something I've always enjoyed playing in almost all the MMOs that I've ever played. A lot of people find healing boring. If you've played Guild Wars 2, you know that that game doesn't even really have healing. I mean, it has healing abilities, but there's no healers. There's no dedicated healers, so to speak. Personally, I am a big fan of the Holy Trinity. You know, having the healers, the tanks, the DPSers, for me that just seems to work. And the reason I enjoy that is if you've got a good healer, it's the most important role in the game. You know, that character is cherished, it's loved, and you know, if your healer is solid, you can have mediocre classes in some of the other roles, and the healer can kind of make up for it. And it's just, you know, being the arrogant son of a bitch that I am, for me that always kind of caters to my playstyle.
They're boiling out of coffee
now, I'm skipping a lot of the storyline, but basically what happened here is this undead lady or queen or whatever attacked the town and had a Dracolich, which is the flying dragon. It looks a lot like the one from the Lich King on World of Warcraft. This character attacked the town, and basically we're cleaning up after the aftermath.
Be careful, these undead on
now, the ability I just got now is my first keyboard ability here. Q. Basically, it does a blast around my area. So you know, if you attack something, you get kind of overwhelmed. You can then use it to kind of peel them back off of you. It does a lot of damage. Clerics in the Dungeons and Dragons world always had a lot of undead spells. Basically, they did a lot of damage to undead. Now I'm going to load up this so all 4 of them have that. I'm going to let them beat on me just a bit so you can see some of the hit points going down. And then bam, full heals me. Kind of a nice little ability. I don't think AoE farming will be any feasible in this game, but this class already seems to be something that's right up my alley. Now, one of the other interesting features that if you are used to Guild Wars 2, that little slide I just did right there, that slide is very similar to the rolls that they had in Guild Wars 2. So it's interesting that they put that back in. Now, I'm interested to see if this these little icons that they have over them, if that's a Dungeons and Dragons thing, or if they were just trying to shoot for similarities to Turbine's engine, because this feels almost exactly like Turbine's engine. I'm going to have to do a little research on that and see what we've got.
again.
Now, once we get up to this part, we're actually transitioning into the kind of the conclusion of this little area, the tutorial area, so to speak. On here, we're actually going to do a little fight against a bridge. We're going to be fighting a lot more opponents. Things are going to get a lot more challenging, and this is kind of like your transitionary period from being a newbie into being a, well, a little bit better newbie. And you can see the graphics and the ambiance here is just, it's pretty good. You know, we're fixing to fight our way across the bridge. We're going to have to deal with a ton of monsters. You see the little red circles here. A lot of the boss fights have these red circles, and you have to dodge them. If you don't dodge them, you get hit by, you know, some pretty ridiculous damage. Right there, those are archers. I was able to slide out of the way. So that's going to make combat later on in the raiding, if there is raiding, fairly interesting, because you're going to have a lot of these little auras that you have to slide out of. You're going to have to use your little slide abilities, and it's going to be, I don't know, I think it brings the level of Twitch combat into the game that is very easy early on, and then as you get higher up, you're going to have to learn to deal with those abilities, learn to react, and, you know, obviously right now I'm dealing with like 2 or 3. Later on, you know, we'll be dealing with like 5, 6, 7 at a time, big pass, and you're going to have to learn the timing, not just sliding out of the way. But I do think it's got a pretty good, solid combat system that, you know, with a little bit of time and a little bit of work could really grow into something that's a lot of fun. I mean, raiding in this, I watched a level 50 guy on a live stream the other day playing this game, which is pretty much the whole reason I decided to give it a shot. As I said at the beginning, I was really rather hesitant to even try the game after, you know, Star Trek and City of Heroes. So I'm so far, I'm pretty glad I was wrong about it. You know, I kind of like these PvE games where you can get in with a group of people, you can go to a dungeon, you can work together as a team and get some stuff done, and so far this game seems like it's going to be pretty solid. I'm hoping the later boss fights will be interesting, and I'm hoping the dungeons will be very similar to Dungeons and Dragons Online. If you ever did any of the Dungeons and Dragons Online, they were very interesting. You know, you had puzzles you had to solve, you had you know, all these traps and things, and it was almost like an adventure as opposed to, because, you know, you go and you do an instance of World of Warcraft, and, you know, it's interesting the first time, but after a while it's just, you know, alright, let's just rush this guy, AoE everything down, and move on. And it just, I don't know, it just seems to lose all the epicness. But, you know, maybe this game will have a good way of capturing at least the epicness of the fights. Dungeons and Dragons has always been on storytelling, etc., and hopefully this will have some story in it. I haven't played it much beyond level 5, so I can't really say I'm going to be playing this at night with JJ, so I'll definitely be able to give you guys a little bit more updates in the near future, let you know what I think as I get a little bit higher up, and as I spend a little bit more time with it. But my initial impressions of it are so far pretty solid. I think the combat system is going to be good. I think it has a lot of promise. So whether or not it actually follows through with that potential, we'll see. So let's see, we've gotten new daily power. So the new daily power, oh, Guardian of Faith. So what does this do? Call down a faithful angel to smite your foe from above, leaving them prone. As the angel descends, it heals your allies. And then class power healer's lore basically just makes my heals a little bit more powerful. So let's see what this looks like. Well, it really didn't knock any of them flat. Oh, it knocks your target flat. I was kind of hoping it would knock everything flat in the area. That would just be badass. Holy crap, that is a lot of archers. Let's get some more health back. Alright, I'm going to hit each one of these with our little healer ability so that everything is nice. Okay, we're going to move around, dodge the archery, and then roll in and... Oh! Sit down, bitches. It's kind of funny, Valindra at the beginning in the opening cinematic, she's like this hot elvish chick, and then as it slowly spins around, you see these big old boobies, and then she spins around and then her face just starts falling off, and you realize she's some kind of evil undead. Kind of ruined it for me. I was all excited. Hate it when the hot chicks become evil undead sorceresses. Such a bummer. Some distance. Now you can see in the background we've got the first big baddie that we're going to be fighting. There we go. Oh, there's a little gold. Other nice thing is you don't really have to... The looting, you just walk over, press F, and then you can loot all. It's very similar to Skyrim's looting system. One button looting, which makes it really nice and easy. Now this guy is huge, so obviously he's slow. Damn, swinging fast like a boss. Try our little angel ability. Sit down, bitch. Point blank. Oh! Almost didn't get out of that time. And the other nice thing is all of the cleric's abilities, are damaging abilities for the most part. So when you're casting these abilities, you're either doing some form of crowd control, some form of damage, etc., etc. So you always feel like you're at least contributing in some, aspect of the fight. You're not just sitting there healing away and watching everybody else have all the fun. You at least get the feeling like you're doing some DPS. It may not be the best DPS in the game, but it is something. But anyways, I did want to show you guys this game, Neverwinter Nights. It's new. It's open beta at the moment. I think it's basically a soft release, though. From what I've heard, there's not going to be a character wipe. You can already buy things in the game. So, you can get started. You're not going to lose your progress, etc., etc. Let me know what you guys think. Would you like to see me and JJ play this together as a team? Maybe play with some subscribers and do some dungeons, etc., etc. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you did, click the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next club.